The studio was alive with energy. The bright lights illuminated the sleek, modern set of the Mark Reynolds Show, a popular late-night talk show known for its sharp humor and pointed interviews. The audience clapped as the host, Mark Reynolds, a seasoned comedian with a reputation for witty yet cutting remarks, grinned at the cameras. Tonight's guest? Tom Holland. Mark had a plan. The young actor was beloved by fans but also known for his accidental Marvel spoiler habit, his polite and too nice persona, and his boyish charm. Tom was an easy target for playful jabs, and Mark was ready to have fun at his expense. The crowd erupted as Tom walked onto the stage. Dressed in a sharp yet understated suit, he smiled, waved, and shook Mark's hand before taking a seat. Mark smirked. "Tom Holland, welcome. And wow, you made it here without accidentally spoiling anything. That's progress." The audience laughed. Tom chuckled, adjusting his suit slightly. "Thanks, Mark. I think that's a personal record for me." It was a light-hearted response, but Mark wasn't done yet. Mark leaned forward, his signature mischievous grin plastered across his face. "Let's be real, Tom. The Marvel team must have someone watching you 24/7 to make sure you don't slip up. Did they send a babysitter with you tonight?" The audience laughed again, expecting Tom to stutter or play along with self-deprecating humor. Instead, Tom simply tilted his head slightly, a small smirk playing on his lips. "Yeah, it's really tough, Mark. But at least my job is just not spoiling movies, while others have to make sure their talk show doesn't become boring." The room froze for a second. Then, an explosion of laughter and applause erupted from the audience. Mark blinked. His smirk faltered just slightly, but the cameras caught it. He wasn't expecting that. Tom had just turned the joke back on him, without breaking a sweat. Mark cleared his throat, quickly flipping through his cue cards to regain his footing. He needed to take back control of the conversation. All right, he said, still grinning but now a little more cautious. "Let's talk about the real reason people love you. You're Hollywood's nicest guy. I mean, honestly, do you ever get mad? Or are you just always this polite?" The audience chuckled. It was a classic trap. If Tom denied it, he'd sound fake. If he admitted it, Mark could push further. But Tom just leaned forward slightly, looking directly at Mark. His expression was still friendly, but there was something sharper behind his eyes now. "Of course, I get mad, Mark, but I just choose where to put my energy." He gestured toward the audience. "These people came here to enjoy a show, not to watch me argue with someone who's just trying to get a laugh." The audience exploded in cheers. Mark's grip on his cue cards tightened. Now Mark was visibly uncomfortable. He shifted in his seat, realizing he was losing control of his own show. He needed to flip the power dynamic back. "All right, fine. You're quick. I'll give you that." He chuckled, but it was forced. "But let's be honest, Tom. You're Spider-Man. You're part of a billion-dollar franchise. But what happens next? You're young, you're successful, but are you really going to last in Hollywood, or are you just riding a lucky wave?" The audience oohed. It was a hard-hitting question, meant to corner Tom into either sounding arrogant or insecure. Tom just sat back in his chair. He smiled. Then, in the calmest voice possible, he responded, "Well, Mark, I guess Peter Parker will decide what he wants to do when he grows up. Just like you're still figuring out how to stay relevant." Boom! The audience lost it. People were clapping, some were standing, and even members of the production crew were laughing behind the cameras. Mark's face turned red for just a second before he forced a chuckle, waving his hand as if to dismiss the moment. All right. I see what you did there." But everyone in that room knew. The show's host had just been outmaneuvered on his own stage. The clip went viral overnight. Tom Holland wrecks talk show host. Mark Reynolds tries to roast Tom Holland and fails. Tom Holland proves he's not just the nice guy everyone thinks. Twitter, Reddit, and YouTube exploded with reactions. Tom didn't just survive, he owned the whole interview. Reynolds underestimated him and got schooled. Our Spider-Man is actually a genius. Meanwhile, Mark Reynolds had to sit through the most humbling moment of his career. He had brought Tom Holland onto his show to make him the punchline, but by the end, he had become the joke. And Tom Holland? He had walked into the interview as just another guest, but he walked out as the man who had flipped the script completely.